Walk us through. I know you have, kind of 10 or so steps. I don't know if we have time to go through all of them, but in terms of the steps that you've taken to build your business from, 0 to about 2 million in 18 months, what are those principles? What are some of those best practices that you think have made the biggest difference for your company?
Yeah. So, I mean, we've touched on some of them, but I'll continue with where, you said what happened after you got your first few clients. So when we got our first couple of clients, one of the big things was receiving customer feedback, because initially I had some thoughts on what would be productized, but not entirely, right? And so as we had our first few engagements, our customers or clients would tell us, hey, I need this from this engagement. Can you add this to the statement of work? Can you add this? And then we would go through certain steps in the engagement, and there would be like a output, like a presentation that was created or a spreadsheet. And it would be like, oh, we can templatize this and we can do this for more than one client. And you start to piece together based on customer feedback what the productized solution looks like. And then once that's created, then you can put it in like a fancy sales deck and send it out to more people. So I would say that's definitely one piece. Is leveraging the customer feedback to improve product development. And thinking of, we almost market our consulting services the way we would market a SaaS company for a client of ours, because that's the go-to-market is almost identical. It's a professional services engagement, but we just, think of it like that. And so productization and our pricing scales the way it would on a SaaS company's pricing page as well.
Yeah. Can you take us through, I mean, when you talk about the marketing piece of how you market your company and really also how you help others to market, because it is this kind of a similar go-to-market strategy, as you mentioned, what does that look like? I mean, if you're talking, let's say, to someone that is running a professional services firm, whether it was a PE firm or a law firm or a consulting firm, what would, or even a firm like your own, right? I mean, what are some of the steps that you think would be most important for them to take to start building a pipeline, to generate more conversations and attract more of the right people?
Yeah. So step one is defining your ideal customer profile, and who is the ideal type of person that would buy this product or service from you. Step two, and those should have characteristics, some type of demographics, psychographics, company size, whatever that is, understanding that very clearly and what offering you're going to present them with.
Yep.
Step two is mapping the market. And this is a step I think a lot of people skip. So for us, for example, I said private equity firms. One of the first things we did is we mapped every private equity firm in North America. We have every firm's website, all the people who work there, all their email addresses, everything. And all of that is uploaded into our HubSpot. So we invested in HubSpot the way a SaaS company would when we were a 2-person consultancy. Right. And we uploaded all of them in there. And then step three is, based on that total addressable market, is building a go-to-market against that. So I have one salesperson full-time reaching out to private equity firms and SaaS companies every day. Every time a company is acquired, we email the investors and we say, hey, congrats on the acquisition. Notice you bought company XYZ. We briefly looked into the marketing potential here. There's 3 to 4 things we can see right off the bat that we can do here. Let us know if you want to have a conversation. That's the type of an email that you would send if you were a B2B SaaS company. But we're doing that for a consulting service. And every day.
Your salesperson, is your sole salesperson, are they in charge of doing that? Like, is that just kind of what they're doing all day, every day?
All day, every day, that's their job. And I'm the closer on those conversations. So I'm the account executive, but I would say eventually the plan is to remove me from that process entirely.
Got you. And is the vast majority of what your salesperson is doing, is it all email, or is there also phone calls or video messages, or kind of what does that look like from a tactical perspective?
All email. They will time to time, look into the company and send specific data points for the company, but pretty much all email. Yeah.
Got you. Okay, cool. All right. So you got a dedicated salesperson. They're kind of getting the pipeline moving for you. You then jump on, take them through presentation, all that kind of stuff. What else? What else would you say has made a really big difference?
So that's one channel. Channel two is events. And obviously in the last few months, there haven't been many events except virtual ones. So we mapped out all the conferences where private equity folks and SaaS executives would go, and we messaged them to speak at those conferences. So we ended up speaking at a bunch before COVID started. So that helped and drove pipeline from there as well for us. And right now we speak at about 2 to 3 events a quarter. Third is paid media. We run LinkedIn ads. We're spending about $10,000 to $20,000 a month on LinkedIn advertising, targeting specifically private equity executives and CEOs of SaaS companies, driving them to a demo form. And then my salesperson, almost like an inside sales rep, handles those conversations,
Yeah.
and then I get pulled in depending on the quality of lead.
Well, can you just walk us through for a minute, like so someone clicks on that ad, what is that ad offering? Like what is the call to action on that ad specifically?
So the ad is a piece of content, usually something that's more native to the platform, and then it says, if you want to solve a problem like this, schedule a demo with us. Click here.
And that's actually on, you mean on the landing page itself or in the ad?
In the ad.
Okay.
In the ad.
So you have a piece of so the ad itself is a kind of a content-based ad. And then the call to action inside the ad itself is, hey, if this resonates, if you'd like to chat about something similar, blah, 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 right, go here. They then go to a page. And what does that page have on it? Because you're targeting, you're not targeting the typical internet marketing person who's, buying like an ebook here or a course there. You're targeting a seasoned, savvy executive, right? Which is what most of the listeners on this podcast and in our community are also focused on, is, people in organizations, might be nonprofit, might be for-profit, big, small,
Sure.
but they're still, kind of B2B buyers. What do you have on that form that's getting that person to actually fill it in and get in touch? What does that page look like?
So, I mean, it's just our homepage, so people can definitely check it out, but it speaks in their language. So you won't see things like, hire us and we'll do Google advertising for you. It's nowhere in there. It's more like, increase the enterprise value of your investments. And here are case studies of private equity firms or their portfolio companies that we've worked with. And then there's a video of me speaking at a conference for private equity investors. That's right on the middle of the homepage. And then lots of examples. And then there's a bunch of data as well on the private equity market and the SaaS market that it's almost like it's an educational presentation that they're reading as they're scrolling through.
But you're actually sending people to your homepage of your website. It's not to a dedicated landing page that you've orchestrated. It's just and why do that? I mean, a lot of people, I think, have heard or believe that you need to send somebody to a dedicated landing page with not many options of navigation, and you want to kind of keep control of the flow, and at the end a very intentional call to action, or book a time call. Any feedback or kind of reasons for doing it the way that you're doing it, of just sending to the homepage?
Yeah, so I mean, just these kinds of tactical marketing things, like, we don't think about at all, because I mean, like things like button color and all that stuff, it's purely like you have a customer, they have a clear defined problem, speak to that pain, tell them how you can solve that pain, and conversions will increase. And if your targeting on your advertising is correct, it will work. And in fact, having things like my podcast at the top, I'm working on a book right now, that's going to be in the navigation. All of that only builds authority by keeping them in this airtight landing page. I never get to show any of that other stuff, right? So, and people clicking around is good. Page depth on visits is actually a better thing. So we want more of that.